Good Sunday morning, y'all. Welcome to Hope This Works. It's still officially Sunday morning right now. It's 11:59. Uh, Anybody here? Pardon me, guys. Let me switch over my accounts here so I can see the live stream. There we go. Got 4 people watching. Let me got the sniffles today, guys. We have 5 people watching. Thrifty VG, I see you changed your name. That's awesome. That means you're going to start making some videos, I think, right? From Zero to Homestead, hello. Eli, you always show up. You rock. Waiting for a video. Hey, Frank and Carrie, you always seem to miss my live streams, but you're here. Frank, awesome. Hi, Billy Joe. She's in the house. Yep, you got that right. That's awesome, Virginia. Sunday morning update. This is what we got going on today. It is warmer than it usually has been. Grab my coffee. Got my big giant mug. I like my coffee. I have a bunch of projects going on today. I noticed that Virginia I think it was last night, and Green Acre Homestead's live stream. I don't know if anybody else caught it. Videos ain't gonna happen, Kevin. Come on, Eli, you can do it. Yes, Andrew, I am in the shop. Are you in the shop too, Andrew? Anyway, there is still snow everywhere in Wyoming, it seems like. We are having some serious melting. I have had a couple days of ponding in my shop. I have a dirt floor, so that's okay. And there's sawdust everywhere, so it kind of soaks in, and it drains actually really nicely. So, is my audio okay? I have my Rode mic there. Headed to the shop after this. In the car wash. Uh-oh, I got a buffer. What's going on here? Nope, there we go. RG Homestead, good morning. I hope this works. All on the chat today. Ponds are better than snowdrifts, Billy Joe says. Yes, they are better than snowdrifts. I have wanted to give you guys an update on what I have going on. Do you guys remember this thing right here? This is the blue thing from the Junk Projects collaboration. Y'all remember that? Well, I've got a couple things I want to do to it. I'm going to polish up the hardware that came off the drawer faces, and I'm going to install those. I'm actually taking this to it's a shop in Sundance down the road, and that's going to be for sale. So go check out Junk Projects collaboration. I built this blue thing out of a blue dresser, and I have a few other items that I'm going to take to the shop to display. Made a cool little napkin holder out of some walnut and some cherry and some leave some oak. That's going to get done. I am working on this board here. It is done except for planing down my inlay. This guy right here. I'll make sure you guys can see that. Pretty cool. This actually is hickory walnut, hickory walnut, hickory walnut, and purple heart zebrawood and purple heart inlay. This is going to be for a footstool for a friend of ours. This is going to go off to the next location. It's a collaboration build. This is going to go off to the next location this week. I have a problem though. I can't run it through my drum sander to thickness it. My inlay is about 1/8 of an inch tall, proud of the board itself. I set up my shopsmith with my drum sander attachment, and the board is too long, so it hits my wall, and I can't get it down through the drum sander on the table, the adjustable table. So I either move my shopsmith, which I can do, but I'd have to move it out, and it's actually sitting up on blocks right now, and the ground is wet. I don't want to get down there. It was kind of precarious when I was setting it up. They're positioned just perfect. So if I move it out a couple inches, I risk letting it fall down or, fall off the blocks. And then I'm down on my knees and I'm getting icky. So I really don't want to do that. So I went to next step. I have this was actually my grandfather's, passed down to my dad's, and then passed down to me. This is a Stanley Companion plane. Needs a mild resto. I also have a Stanley sharpening kit with a jig, which holds your planer blade at a particular angle so you can sharpen my blade. When I'm looking at this, it almost looks like a dog has chewed on the chewed on the blade. It actually is relatively sharp, but right up close, it just doesn't cut real good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a video of basically a product review of this Stanley sharpening kit, and a video of my mild resto on my companion plane, and a video of me planing down this inlay and get that shipped off. So busy day here in the shop today. That's what I got going on there. We also have, hey Nola Grace, how are you? We also have a collaboration through content creators that is basically building a seat, a chair, a stool, something you can personally take around and take it somewhere and set it up and use it. Quite a few of us in content creators are in this collaboration. Those videos should be out, I believe, the 26th. They should drop. And I'm not going to tell you what I got going on, but I have some plans printed out on recycled paper. Always be resourceful. And I'm going to be working on that. Yes, Andrew, we have a stove going in here. It is nice. It's actually pretty toasty in here right now. We are going to The floor is drying out actually relatively quick. I'm surprised. Some geographical areas, like my mom back in Michigan, I just talked to her yesterday, and they have standing water everywhere. So the water table is a little different in Michigan. Soil is a little different there. That's where I grew up, and it was pretty normal to have that spring melt and you have standing water a lot of places. So here in Wyoming, we have well, at least in this geographical area, it's it's so sandy. Um, if we get any pooling, man, it's gone really quick. It just poof soaks right into the ground. So we're really not concerned about much flash flooding. Uh, there is some flooding in some areas on our road out to the highway because we just had so much snow, and there's been some attempts to divert that water and get it flowing away, but really not too bad. Hey, Dave from Oak Knob Farm, taking a break and popping in to say hi. Absolutely. Hello, Dave. You guys rock. Your turtle is eating again, Nona Grace. Cool. Have some bad news. Uh, Not devastating news, but maybe a little bit for me. Uh, Windows, my laptop bit the dust yesterday. Hopefully, it's not catastrophic failure, but uh, about a week ago, I had a Windows update come through. Everything went cool. And then I started getting some. I was getting a graphics card message, and every time I would open up a Windows media file, either to edit my video file or edit a picture in my photo editor, computer just crash. And that was kind of weird. So I started opening up all my media files in VLC, media player. Everything was cool. Get an intermittent overheat warning saying computer's going to go into hibernation mode, which that has happened a couple times in the last year. But it was when I was running my drafting program and had the internet open, and I think had Corel Photo Studio open at the same time. And I may have not had my laptop fan. I have an auxiliary fan base under my laptop. I turn that off a lot of times if I'm doing like live stream or doing any voiceovers because my mic will pick up the fan. So I'd get a couple of those warnings every once in a while, but I was getting a warning daily, a couple times a day within the last few days. Yesterday, I was working on a computer, bam, hibernation, overheat warning. Like, okay, great. So let it sit, let it cool down, let it pop, pull back, boot back up. It would stay on for maybe a minute. No programs running, just Windows. Bam, get another warning, shut down. And the laptop was cool as a cucumber. Started getting a little frustrated, started pulling my hair out. Yes, Eli, I'll answer that. I'll answer that question here in just a minute. Uh, Next thing, let it pull up, make sure no programs are running. I let it sit there. It probably sat there just Windows screen, just my desktop, for about 5 minutes. And what I ended up doing is went to go to do a restore point to earlier in the day, or earlier, I think it was like 4 days earlier. Started doing a restore point, boom, gave me that hibernation, overheat warning. Again, laptop's cool as a cucumber. And it crashed. Went to fire it back up, and then Windows won't even load. So it was in the middle of doing a restore, a Windows restore, and now it won't fire up. I tried firing it up in safe mode. It'd come up for about 30 seconds max. Poof, gone. Tried getting into the bios with F2 and F11 and I think F10 or F12 is another run as administrator or something like that. Nothing. Pull up for about 5 to 10 seconds. Poof, done. So I'm going to take it to my computer guy tomorrow uh, and see what he has to say. I'm sure he has a boot disk, and we'll see what that see what's going on with that. So I pulled out an old tower. It's a Windows 8 tower, and it's pretty important. I need to have my website because I've been working on my website, doing blog posts, and I have my Pinterest, all my other social medias up there, my photo editors, all kinds of stuff like that. So I got it fired up. Good thing about Google, saving passwords, man. You save your passwords, and I got everything loaded in, got it fired up. So I've been editing, but I have no keyboard. 2 keyboards that are here at the house are junk. Some of the letters don't work. So I have on-screen keyboard, which on one blog post that I posted last night just needed a few tweaks to it. So on-screen keyboard and click, 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 click with a mouse. That's a little time consuming. But a good friend of mine, Robert, he said, hey, Kevin, your next blog post, what you can do is use your cell phone, go into your email, voice text your narration, save it, email it to yourself as a draft or whatever, and then pull it in to WordPress. So that's what I'm going to do, Robert, is for my next blog post. But I need to keep moving forward on that. So what a bummer. Hopefully it's not a catastrophic failure. The only thing that I couldn't do, I'm wanting to work on plans for sale that are on my website, plans for cutting boards, seats, all kinds of stuff, trestle table, you name it. I can't get into Fusion, Autodesk Fusion 360, because Fusion is a 64-bit program and that tower is 32-bit. So I can't upload Fusion in my computer. All my files are cloud-based, so that's cool. I can still access, none of my work is gone, but I just can't fire it up. So hopefully the computer guy has some good news for me. Maybe I have to put a new OS in it. I'm running on Windows 7, so I wouldn't mind getting to Windows 10 possibly. We'll see what's going on there. I just installed a new solid state hard drive here about 2 months ago, and that really helped the performance of my computer. So having this Windows 8 tower it's no speed demon. It's a dual core Pentium processor, 3 gig of RAM. So not too bad, but being resilient, moving on. I wanted to give you that, guys, that update. Greenery channel, hey, how you guys doing? Frank and Carrie's Adventure. Yeah, Frank made me a logo for my Making Sawdust channel. It was super cool. If you guys didn't know, he is building me a model for our 2 channels, and it's going to have my logo on the side. You ought to go check out his channel. I have not watched his update videos on that model. I want to be super, super surprised. So I'm sticking all of his update videos in my watch later. Model should be done by Wednesday. That is so cool. Hey, how you doing, Dave Barrett? How's your sap boiling going? Andrew, stop for soda. Ba-ba-ba. That is rough. On-screen keys suck. Yes, they do. Oh, Dave, no, I don't. I did take the battery out. I let it sit there. I put it in like the coolest area of my house up in the north corner, on the floor to just make sure it was just, you know, ambient temperature, dead cool. Still didn't work. But no, I did not try to hold down the power button for 30 seconds. I didn't know that would do anything. When I get back inside, I'll actually try and I'll take your advice and I'll see. Hey Jay, almost homestead. How are you doing? Nathan, hello ladies. Another project is right up here. Uh, Nathan from Samson Farms. He is getting, you've probably seen it, but he is getting a, boy, that thing is dusty. Boy, that thing is dusty. I am making him a sign for his business, Samson Farms. He's trying to grow his brand, his channel, and his professional online presence. Here is the frame that I have made him. Still needs a few more coats of poly. I did a double spline, if you can see that. I did I've never done this before. I put a accent piece of hickory in the miter, but then also a spline right here in the miter, which is really cool. And I'm using a piece of old corrugated tin. Kind of get the picture there, guys. Nice rustic look. And I am cutting out, I just need some final touches on his logo. It's going to have the Samson Farm quail and say Samson Farms on it. And they're going to be raised up off that corrugated metal. It's going to look super cool. Hopefully I can get this knocked out at the end of this week. Yeah, I have never used a hand plane, so that's going to be a treat with this board. Wanted to bring you guys along there. What else do I got going on here? All kinds of stuff. Oh, yes. I am going to practice. I got this for Christmas. This is a wood burning kit. Lots of different tips on it. It's basically a soldering iron. But I am going to try and use this and be able to put my maker's mark on my boards and my signs and everything I make. There's also a place on Etsy that you can get brands. Like, they'll make you basically a little tip like this. This is a brass, I believe, maybe copper, maybe bronze. Not really sure. And they'll, I believe, CNC engrave your maker's mark right in there, and that attaches to the soldering iron or the branding iron or whatever you call it. They're actually relatively inexpensive. You can upload your JPEG logo, and for I think like $11, they will CNC cut a maker's mark brand for you. So I'm super excited about that. Yeah, you could. Yeah, I could brand. Yeah, exactly. If you check out one of my videos, we did branding last year. Uh, we're going to be doing some more branding this year. My buddy's ranch, and it's just it really is just a big soldering iron. Uh, Plug it right into the wall, and it has a about a 3/8 or even half-inch diameter piece of steel rod bent in a certain way for representing their brand. And if you guys have smell-o-vision, oh my gosh, burnt cow hair is awful. But I've branded 3 years already, and brand some tumbleweeds. You ought to go check that out. I think it's named uh, Ranch Day Branding Cows or something like that. Brand your squirrels. You're funny, Dave. Jay, you're funny. Brand some tumbleweeds and let them go. Actually, it's going to be tumbleweed season really, really quick here. Uh, what ends up happening is the tumbleweeds die off. They're a perennial, but the vegetation that's out of the ground will actually die off over the wintertime. And then in the spring, when the wind starts blowing, those things start cranking across the prairie. I promised you guys last year to do tumbleweed races. Now, I never got back to it. That had a cameo appearance of Steve Irwin, crocodile hunter, rest in peace. But his spirit came down last year, and he's going to help me wrangle some tumbleweeds. So maybe this year we can get Steve Irwin's spirit back here on Hope This Works Homestead and do some tumbleweed races. That will be fun. We already have a pond going out back. We have a low area back there that always fills with water with a spring runoff. And I think we're going to have some good water back there this year. I have I put a new jet pump in the house here a few months back because our diaphragm tank was going to crap. So I actually have that old Flowtech jet pump that I'm going to basically mount to the back of my pickup truck that has the water tank in it. And I'm going to drive out to the pond, pump water out of the pond into our 300-gallon truck tank, come up here and dump it in my greenhouse barrels and also my cistern. Yeah, yeah. Eli, tumbleweeds are Russian thistle. Yep. Yep. That's the burn pin. Yep, for Russian thistle. There's actually a lot of different names or a lot of different varieties of tumbleweed. It's pretty neat. So, Dave says around here they line ponds like that with clay to seal them so they don't leak down into the soil. It's pretty interesting. We don't have a lot of clay around here on the surface level, but when you get out back to that low area, uh, the surface is clay, just a natural formation of clay. When it dries out and gets bone dry out there, right around July, that pond will be bone dry, and there'll be giant cracks in that soil. A lot of people use bentonite to line wells and uh, ponds and things like that. And we live on a giant bentonite field. So just a few miles that way over on Pine Ridge, it's bentonite everywhere. And it's kind of a clayish type mix. What I had thought about, and I don't know if I'll be able to get to it this year, maybe this fall we can try it. I thought about excavating the pond down a few more feet, and then what I excavate, berm up around the sides to make a larger holding pond, so I can potentially pump water out of there almost year round. We get some serious thunderstorms here, and it rains all at once. So, with rain catchment and water conservation, if I could build basically a holding pond, then we can capture that rain, capture a resource. We only get about 14 inches a year, and that's dry compared to other geographic regions. Some places get 14 inches a month, you know. So Farmer Brad is here. Yes, I am making some stuff today. Yes, we are. I am finishing up this blue thing for that's going to go into a boutique or a shop over in Sundance. I'm actually going to take this tomorrow. I am finishing up this board from Farmer Brad, which is hickory, oak, or hickory, walnut, hickory, walnut, hickory, walnut, hickory, and a purple heart zebra wood and purple heart inlay. So you notice my inlay is a little proud of my board. So I am going to do a mild resto on my Stanley Companion plane. Get that plane down, do a final sanding, ship it off to the next guy. It is a collaboration. This is going to be a footstool for a friend of ours. Yeah, it really is. It is a cutting board, actually. In a way, it's a top of a footstool. But when I built it, I'm like, hey, that would make a really cool cutting board. So I have more products. I have to get out to the shop in Sundance. So my inspiration is a cutting board that's going to look like this. So that is super cool. Pigs working over a spot you want to hold water does a fair job of sealing it. Really? Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah, I do, Dave. I do want to invest some time in that pond back there. Hence, another project, which is that case tractor. It has a front end loader on it. I've talked on a few different live streams about why I really didn't get to it last year. It would have been a great help to keep us cleaned out this winter. But just it was finances and time, and what I do need to do to it is pull that gas tank off, and that's like an act of Congress because it has a factory cab on that case tractor, and I have to pull off the front end loader, pull off the cab to pull off the gas tank. I have a fuel delivery problem, getting crap into my carburetor, so I need to start at the beginning, clean my tank, seal it, put it back on, and start working my way through the system. It's the original carburetor, and it has a lot of nicks, a lot of dents on the outside of that carburetor. And when I picked up this tractor from a friend of mine, he says, "This how you got to get it running." He took the end of a wrench, get it started, and took the end of a wrench and taps on the carburetor right near the needle in the seat. Well, it's an aluminum body carburetor. You would think that tapping on the outside of the carburetor is not going to damage it. You know, it might put a couple dents in it over the years, but aluminum deforms. So the more you tap on the outside, the inside is also moving. So I believe part of my fuel delivery issue is my needle and seat is not sealing. The main jet boss, I guess I'd say, is probably deformed. You couldn't see it with the naked eye. So starting at the beginning of the system is fuel tank. I may end up having to purchase a reman carburetor. I've already done a rebuild on it, but I believe there could be something wrong internally in the body of the carburetor because of the. Okay, and with anything, you don't just tap on it to make it work. There's obviously a problem there. So Gonna get that fixed, but it has a front end loader on it. I believe I'm gonna spend some time on the tractor and spend some time in that pond once it dries up. So, oh, cool, Eli. Yeah, end grain cutting boards inspired me to do more woodwork. It is funny you say that. My second end grain cutting board I built, put it on my Facebook page, and this was nearly a little over a year ago. My uncle Brian, uh, he he had sent me a message, and I had inspired him to get into more woodworking. That's super cool. I never knew he was a woodworker, but uh, he lives in Chicago or suburb of Chicago, and I'm glad I could be an inspiration. It was neat. Yeah, uh, Farmer Brad. Yeah, I'm gonna be able to burn. It's actually a wood burning kit. I'm gonna be able to burn my Maker's Mark and other things in there. So I want to do a little review on that kit, and then also practice my skill. I used to do quite a bit of drawing. Uh, I've drawn my own tattoos. I have 2 tattoos, and I drew those. I also have another tattoo I've drawn, which is like a full back piece, kind of a mural. So I think some of that artistic, that vision and that talent of drawing might be able to follow or cross over into wood burning. So I'm super excited about that. Uh, Whack. Go to a Marvel Shebler carb. Eli, I have seen those. Yes. I think maybe this might be a. I don't think it's a Walbro. I can't remember the style, uh, but it's a kind of an odd. It's kind of an odd carburetor. Float bowl sits actually kind of up top, and the air intake's at the bottom, so it's kind of an upflow carburetor. It's a different style. Uh, I've seen them on eBay. I've seen them on a lot of other places. I'm on a pretty big tractor for them. But there's sometimes you do need to replace the carburetor, not just rebuild it. Uh, Again, it's an aluminum body. It's old. Aluminum oxidizes. Uh, the tractor is 1970. Good possibility it is the original carburetor. So aluminum pits. So it could be a little finicky right there. So I really want to get working on that. I cannot see the front of the tractor. The loader is completely buried still in snow, and yeah, exactly, Dave. Throttle shafts, things like that, they can get just a teeny bit sloppy. You're sucking air. So again, um, start at the beginning of the fuel system and work my way through. But that could make a huge difference. I have a pending trade right now, but I need a tractor and I need to be able to use it. So uh, I made 2 to put under my motorcycle tires to keep her off my own floors. That's funny. Uh, yes, I am positive, Dave. This carburetor, or this tractor, I've been on a ranch in Colorado for probably the last 20 years. Originally stationed in Sheridan, Wyoming, on Air Force Base, it was built by Case to be an Air Force tug tractor. It pulled airplanes out of the hangar. That's what it did. That's what it was born to do. Uh, I've run probably 30 gallons of fuel through it. Uh, I have a clear sediment bowl, petcock and sediment bowl on it, and it gets real tannic, real coppery colored. You'll have nice clear fuel going through it, and after you run it for a while, that fuel sloshing around in that tank starts disturbing that layer of silt and sand in the bottom of the tank, and it gets like an old penny color, an old coppery penny. Um, Starts plugging up the petcock, pull it off, clean it out, put it back together. she'll run for another half hour or so and slosh that fuel around, and poof, you know, it's sucking all that crap down through the carburetor. So it's really not, if you think of the finest sand that you could have, finer than silica, that's really what's happening. And that silica sand's coming in through the fuel and through the fuel line going in through the carburetor, and it's abrasive. So it's hogging out, it's eroding that carburetor on the inside, but it's also potentially doing damage to the engine. So again, I could just keep running the thing, but I may be wearing out valve guides, uh, all kinds of stuff. So I really don't want to just run the thing, and it's such an intermittent problem. I run it for a half an hour, park it, fire it up the next day. The thing won't run at all. Clean out the sediment bowl, blow out the carburetor, fire it back up. It'll run for 5 minutes and then quit. Clean out the sediment bowl, we'll run it for a half hour. It'll quit. So I need to have a usable unit. So yeah, a lot of guys talk about there's some special stuff. Once you get the tank cleaned out, there's a sealer that you can use. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, Eli, we gotta see the motorcycle on your oak floors. So what do you mean? You're not gonna do any videos? You have to. Got her into town. Okay, Jay. Yeah, I am about done here too. I'm gonna give myself a thumbs up. Boom, 3 thumbs ups, I think. How many we got watching now? Can't tell. I can't tell. But anyway, yeah, give me a thumbs up, guys. And we're gonna jam out some videos this week. I gotta be here doing this, and go visit my website, kevinswoodcreations.com. Subscribe to my blog. I'm going to be doing maker interviews and all kinds of stuff. Some tool reviews. I just put up a new blog post this morning about resawing thick stock in my table saw. If you don't have one of those giant cabinet saws, which I do not, so go check that out. Done, and done. 10 people watching here. Thank you everyone for joining me. Bearded Giant, Single Man, Open Up Farms, Samson Farms, Frank and Carrie, Thrifty VG, Billy Joe, Personal Balance Life Coach, Jay at Almost Homestead, David Oaknop Farm, blank, Dave Barrett at Dubois Homestead in the Woods, and Nathan, Nona Grace. Thank you everybody for popping in. I want to talk to you a little later today, Andrew, maybe on PM or on the phone. So if you're not busy, shoot me a message, and I want to talk to you about a few things. So love you all. You guys rock. Wish me luck with my computer tomorrow. And as always, you guys can say it this time. Waiting for a comment. As always. There you go. Now I'm ending the stream. You guys rock.